2003 or 4 movie. Let's see. 2004's remake of Flight of the Phoenix. Yeah, I was gonna do this a couple of days ago, but I had to delay it because I was tired. This is directed by John Moore, and it's got an all-star cast, and it's an hour and 53 minutes. So let's get started. Just change the chat here. There. Be civil in the chat. I'm not gonna say that more. I'm not gonna say that twice because I'm really tired. I want to do this podcast now. There's the desert. Dennis Quaid is in the movie. Me too. I've never seen the original. I got to see the original from the 60s. I think they have it on streaming. Giovanni Ribisi. Disappointed trees. Yeah. Tyrese Gibson. Miranda Otto from Lord of the Rings, the sequels. Tony Curran. It's a good shot. Kirk Jones. Jared Padalecki, he's in it. Scott Michael Campbell. Asians. Marco Beltrami did the music. Everywhere, man. I've been everywhere, man. I haven't seen this movie in years. I heard the commentary about the director and the producers. Why this movie? Because it's nice and long. It'll kill some time today. Today's a Tuesday, so. And at least this remake does its own thing. It's not a shot-for-shot remake. That's the worst remake you can do, where it's just the same movie, just a bigger budget or in color. Do something different. That's what a remake should be. There's Padalecki. He did this before he did Supernatural, like a year before that show came out, but where he blew up. We saw Mongolia. That's Asia. So Mongolia is a desert. There's Miranda Otto. Looks like a mix between Karen Gillian and Emily Mortimer if she was a redhead. She's cute. Not my favorite actress. I haven't seen her in anything in a while, but she's still doing her thing. She's Australian. Dude, Gloria, I just never liked this guy. I never liked House. He's just boring. His best role was in the remake of 101 Dalmatians. He was Jasper. That's it. Because House, I didn't care for him. I didn't care for him in Monsters vs. Aliens or the Stuart Little movies. It's just like, he's just really boring. He's like Hugh Grant. I just never found him interesting. Otto's interesting because at least she's a woman. I'm not going to go the whole time, but, you know, she's interesting. She did. There's Dennis Quaid. Plus, she had a really cool scene in Return of the King. I'm no man. And it speaks for itself. It's not a scene that has to go on for 5 minutes. When she because she's not an actress that's overexposed like Margot Robbie and Samara Weaving, where they just look alike. It's too much. She looks not. She looks like none of them. This is not a job. This is just a hobby for me. The planes look real. Yeah, there's not a lot of CG in this movie. It's a real plane, like Con Air, except this is a PG-13. Padalecki, yeah, he's done some films before he was in. Because most of these actors either were in a lot of movies or they did a show that blew up in the 2000s. I know that Mexican guy. Yeah, he was in an episode of Full House. He it is like Con Air. This is what Tyrese when he had hair before Fast and the Furious. He was in Too Fast, Too Furious has just come out like a year before. Of course, Con Air is a better movie. It's better directed and it's R-rated, and Nicolas Cage is hilarious in that. There's a lot of foreigners in this movie. A lot. And you know me, I'm just it's not my thing. Even when I go to Comic Con, I usually meet the non-foreign actors, unless they're Canadian and I like them. Good morning, John. It's good that you shut off the chat in your last podcast. I wanted to keep some strangers in the chat. Yeah, that, and also because I don't want to be bothered. It was a Sunday morning and I was really tired, and it was a movie that I didn't want any distractions. It was a holiday also. Holidays, I do not put the chat on if it's a certain holiday. I won't be doing a podcast on Mother's Day. Well, actually, I will, but next Sunday I won't because I gotta leave early. So this Sunday, yeah. Next Sunday, no, because I'm gonna go to the theater. But certain people, I don't want them in my inbox bothering me when I'm doing a podcast or when I'm going on vacation or something. And Dennis Quaid's in everything now. Last year he was in The Substance. I believe it was in that, right? Yeah. His son is in everything now too. Jack Quaid, he wasn't acting in 2004 because he was a kid. This was over 20 years ago. So Jack was like 10 or something. Because he's younger than me, so. Well, it sounds like Bill Clinton. Yeah. This is decent. It wasn't a hit at the box office because it was a remake that was like 30 or 40 years after the original. So no one should ever question my taste in women. Nobody. because I surprise people. And unlike some people, I walk the walk here on YouTube. I say I'm going to do a podcast, I'm going to do it. The soundtrack is good. Yeah, they couldn't get Michael Pena because he wasn't a thing yet. Yeah. Now a lot of movies are in the desert. You had Furiosa last year, Dune Part 2. Of course, every Star Wars movie has to have at least one desert scene. Yeah. All the prequels, the original film, well, there's no desert in Empire Strikes Back, but most of the films have a desert. Rogue One, I think they had a desert in it as well. I wonder who's going to go to Comic Con this year. That's what I'm looking forward to. The Brooklyn Comic Con, I wouldn't be surprised because I'd rather not know who's going. So when I get there, I'll be like, oh, these people are here. Okay. Because at the New York Comic Con, I want to know because if it's worth it or not. Because last year I was a bit mixed on it. There were some good people that went. It's just that there was a lot of people that canceled, and also not enough people I wanted to see, and the prices were like, eh. There's a sandstorm. What was that noise just now? Thankfully, this movie's not 2 hours or 3 hours in the desert. It's just an hour and 53 minutes, which is long. But compared to movies that are twice as long as this, it goes in and goes out. It doesn't drag as much. This isn't even the longest movie I did a podcast for this year. It's not. Crawl was longer than this. And Divergent. The first Divergent was 2 hours and some minutes. Yeah, it's pretty long. Where's my fruit? Hold on. Here we go. Here's the fruits, and here's the fruits. Yeah, I went to the doctor yesterday. I didn't have time to talk. Sometimes my health has to come first, guys. You know that. Can't do these podcasts sick or have a serious injury. Got a tangerine. Miranda's the only woman in this movie, so it's all I got. Cause I ain't got no women to look at in Thunderbolts. Got nobody. Olga Kurylenko was underused in Black Widow. I hated Yelena in Black Widow. And Ghost, I don't want to talk about it. See? I don't want to talk about it. You don't have to hear about it. Not everything needs to be chat. It needs to be discussed. We're about 15 minutes in, so Wow, that was a good stunt. Kung Fu Panda, yeah, no, that's a good movie. The first three. I didn't care for the fourth one. It was just too many years too late. I don't want weirdos in my chat, and I don't want people bothering me while I'm doing my thing. That plane is totaled, man. That's why you never fly a plane in a sandstorm. It's a good effect. Yep. If this really happened, these people would have been dead. But then we can't have a movie, so. Yep, he's dead. Yep, he's dead. This earns his PG-13. The original, I think, was G-rated. It wasn't PG-13. Didn't exist yet in the 60s. I would never fly in a plane in any storm. Thunderstorm, snowstorm, sandstorm, whatever. Hailstorm. Storms, you're supposed to, get shelter. That's the smart thing. Will people ever learn never to fly in any vehicle during a storm? Clear skies. Today's clear skies. Hurricane season is in a month. It starts in May and ends in November, so. No, not everybody. Half of the people died. Tyrese barely dies in movies. He should have died in Fast and the Furious like twice now. Yeah, he's massacred. Yeah, that plane's not gonna fly again. I still prefer Harrison Ford over Dennis Quaid because he doesn't do everything, and he's a legend. Yeah. This film didn't need a Brit in it. I'm sorry, they're in the middle of a desert. There's no deserts in the UK because it's not an island or like some kind of a. It's not a Middle Eastern country like Saudi Arabia or something. Yep. Deserts are known for being big and vast and no water. I will. There's minorities here, but it's not forced, and there's no Asians in the movie. Well, they showed the Asians in the beginning, but that's it. It's mostly just a Hispanic, a couple of black guys, and some people from other countries. That's about it. I don't want to hear about The Last of Us. I'm never watching it again. Hear me, hear me. I will never watch The Last of Us again. I went through the first season and that was depressing, and the second season I gave up. I'm done. I never want to see that show again. May it go screw itself because of the writers. Not because of Caitlin Deaver, because of the writers. The people that wrote The Last of Us Part 2 in the video game, and then we have this, yeah. No thanks, okay? I've had enough depression in my life. I don't need any more. She does look like Karen Gillan. If Karen Gillan had a little sister. But she's cute. I never said, oh, she's Australian, so I hate her. No, she's cute. I love to rub her nose. I told you guys, I'm not... When it comes to certain women, I'm not as biased as you think. Especially cute women. I'll wait till Caitlyn does the Godzilla movie. Thanks very much. Because she's not going to kill anybody in that. And she's not going to die in it. So, and they're not going to kill off a Star Wars actor, which I get offended every time they do that. That infuriates me like nothing else when it comes to characters that die in a movie. When you kill off an actor from Star Wars, it pisses me off. Whether it be the prequels or the originals, or even like some of the cartoons. I'm not going to say the sequel trilogy because I don't care about that. Because when I saw Phasma in Wednesday, I'm like, yeah, you can't act, okay? You're boring and you're the worst part of that show. See? At least I know who I like and who I don't like. Yeah, it's a bunch of dudes and one girl. Just like the Smurfs. When they started. Because Lost Village, they had more girls. Yeah, more girl Smurfs. Which didn't bother me because I'm like, females are necessary, guys. We're 22 minutes in. Because I'm going to Comic-Con in like 40-something days. Today's the 22nd. Yeah, today's the 22nd. We got 8 days left. 31 days in May, that's 39. And the 7th, that's 20, 41, 42, 43. 46 days. I'm going to head to the Brooklyn Comic Con again, in a different location this time. And I'm not telling you where. Because I can't. Smoking kills. Yeah, Rabisi's a weird actor. Like, he went from uh, the Mod Squad, or a movie that, and where he was just really he had some ticks in there that I didn't understand, and then he's in this movie, and then he did Avatar, which I don't know how he got that. James Cameron probably did him a favor. Said hi, Infamous 305. I don't know who you are. It's a good shot. As people in the desert, I guess audiences didn't want to see a plane crashing post 9/11. They were like, no, we're good. Because, there were other movies that had plane crashes at post 9/11. Snakes on a Plane and Nonstop and all those other. But again, guys, it's all in your head. It's all in your head. I survived 9/11 and I'm still out. Here I am. And my family. Would never go to Manhattan. When that happened, I was in school. I was safe. I was miles away from Manhattan. So, peaches, 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 peaches. Because that's a desert. You're not going to find any food there unless you get a cactus and cut it open and it has water in it. I like when they use real locations, not just a bunch of CG. When they go to the desert, I would like to see the real desert. Furiosa, real desert. It wasn't fake. And also uh the Dune movies, the ones that Denis Villeneuve did, they really went to the desert and walked and danced in the desert. Yeah, they really did that. Even the Lynch version, they went to a desert because you have to be real. You can't fake it. Oh, I know that guy. That Sticky Fingers. Yeah, he's the rapper. Yeah, I know this guy. He was in Last Crusade. He was the one that that Indiana Jones, the one with the fez hat that the Indiana Jones wanted to kill. It's the same actor. Yeah, it's the same actor. Yeah, he's just much older here than because that was 1989. This was 2004. I don't know why a Middle Eastern man would have a British accent, but hey, I'm not Middle Eastern and I'm not from the UK, so I wouldn't know. There's two actors from the UK here. Let's face it, they appropriate every land. He was Cassim in Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. He's only in two scenes in that movie, though. He's in the chase scene on the boat, and then he's at the in the third act, and then he dies. Mm-hmm. In the desert, it's hard to stay alive because the heat alone will kill you. It's a survival movie. It's not really an action film. It's more like a thriller in the desert. It's hard to walk in New York City in the heat. Imagine doing that with no buildings around, no water fountains. Yeah, I couldn't handle it. Mm-mm. If I was in the desert, I would take like a pack of bottled waters and some sunscreen and a hat because I ain't gonna be in the desert for days. Hell no. I go to the beach and it feels like a desert because you're walking slow in the sand and you're near the sun where there's no shade. Yeah, so I know what it's like to be. I kind of got a feeling for that. It's 9:42. There's no creatures in the movie or anything. It's just, I didn't need to see that. It looks like the planet Exegol, which I don't want to talk about in Rise of Skywalker. Nothing but cloudy skies and thunder. Yeah, that's not a place I want to live in. You're just ripping off Camino from the prequels. I'm only human. John Moore's done some decent movies, mainly this one and Behind Enemy Lines, the first one. I couldn't do that because Gene Hackman passed away this year. None of these actors have passed away recently. So we lie down because it's going to be a long one. It's a good looking film, too. even back in 2004. That was the year I graduated from high school. There we go. 30 minutes in. In the desert, you could lose somebody easily. I got to go and find him. I'm sorry, these accents. Again, dude, you're not winning an Oscar. That's a really good shot. I love seeing the vast desert in a movie. But the thing is, by the time we got to Force Awakens, I'm like, why did you have to do it in the desert again? I'm sick of the desert in that movie in Star Wars by that time. Because that's all you did. You just ripped off A New Hope. Instead of Tatooine is discount Tatooine, Jakku, Kwaku. You're not going to do better than the originals. We all know that. You're never going to do better than the originals. Ever. The originals are going to live forever. You see that? They're going to live forever. Dune is like the new Star Wars now because they did it better. The acting is better. It's shot beautifully, and the plot and the characters are much more sound. They're not perfect, but it's still a story I'm invested in that world. Mm-hmm. Mm. She's cute as a button. I know I don't talk about her much because she hasn't done something recent that I've seen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. They are grown men. People in the internet need to act like men. If you're a male, act like a man. Don't act like a little boy. I don't throw hissy fits when I do these podcasts. I do these for you guys, so that you have something to watch. Because the month of May, there's not another holiday for like 2 weeks on Mother's Day, and then we have at the end of the month of May we have Memorial Day, which I want to do something because I couldn't do a podcast 3 years ago because I had COVID, and some people questioned why I didn't do it. I'm like, I can't do a podcast while having COVID. I was starting to get COVID in May, and I wasn't able to. I was too sick to do it, and I never want to get COVID again or a pneumonia or anything like that. I'm a rock. For May. At least I'm going to see Batman in 2 weeks, in 2 Sundays. I'm very happy about that because I've never seen the 1989 Batman movie in the theater. I'm going to see it with a crowd. with people and cheering and all that. Things that make me happy going to the theater. I don't want to go to the theater, hear chicken jockey, and then a bunch of kids are throwing popcorn acting like maniacs. No. They're into that, fine, but don't assault people in the theater. That's not right. That's criminal. That's criminal activities, guys. You don't want to get arrested as a kid. That's not being a fan. That's being a psychopath. And the water's busted. See what you did? There's Giovanni Ribisi. I have an idea. I'm going to the theater in the summer. I always go to the Summer Regal and I see a movie for $1, or I go to Coney Island and see a movie for free. That's where I saw The Warriors last year. And I'm going to go see Superman. That's going to happen. I'm just saving my money for that. Because Comic Con, I'm going to go a month before I see Superman. And after that, I'm getting my ticket for Superman Legacy, aka the 2025 Superman movie. I don't care about the test screenings. Screw test screenings. That's a lie. The internet just wants to talk. They want click. They want to clickbait people. I'm not. I'm easily swayed by clickbaits. Mm-hmm. And Fly. It's similar to this plot of Chicken Run, except it's not with chickens. It's with people. See, that movie didn't have people that were nuts watching it. Chicken Run. Ah! No, they didn't act like that. I didn't see the movie in the theater, but when I saw the movie on VHS, I was like, I saw it normal. I don't have to throw popcorn in the air. I don't do that. I eat popcorn. I don't throw it like confetti. That's stupid. When I saw Endgame, I jumped out of my seat. Yeah, but I wasn't hitting people. The cops didn't call. They didn't call the cops when I saw Infinity War Endgame. Minecraft, I'm gonna see it, just not in the theater. I'm not gonna get assaulted by some psychopaths with their cell phones and their chicken jockeys. I don't act like a psychopath. You can be a fan without being completely off your rocker. He talks weird in this movie, Giovanni Ribisi. I do like how they escape the desert. Because the movie's making money, that's fine. Every movie, every fan, every franchise has fans. But you don't have to act like a psychopath. You saw my reaction to for Elsa when I saw Disney on Ice and Frozen came out. The characters of Frozen came out. I went nuts, but I wasn't hitting people. I let people hear my voice. That's a fandom enough. What do you mean you didn't see my reaction? It's on my Facebook videos. Just look. It's me recording. You don't see my reaction, but you hear my reaction. Elsa can still get, gravitate an audience. And then Watch Mojo had the gall to say that Frozen 3 is gonna flop. I'm like, Elsa could just sing in the movie and make $1 billion for Disney because she's over with fans. People are not sick of her. It's a journey, this movie. because I'm going to be a fan of whatever I want. Nobody can tell me otherwise. That's why I'm the rebel of the YouTube, because I go against the grain. I don't do reactions to everything else that everybody else does. Look at that desert. Wow. Must be really hot doing that. We're 41 minutes in, so. A book in the middle of the desert? Look at that arch. Yep, there it is. It's funny how there's no desert animals in this movie like camels or horses or something. There he is. Nomads. Yeah, I know. So can I. Hold on. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I do. I do have a dream, but I don't sing about it. Hmm. They're like, oh, they're sick of Frozen because the characters are everywhere. But there's a reason why we still get Elsa every year, because she can captivate an audience with just her voice. That's hard to do when you just use their voice to grab an audience and they're singing along with you. Does that sound like people that are over Frozen? No. Kids are always going to be into them, especially little girls. We're 45 minutes in. Because it's going to be hot today, but I don't want to go out, so I'm just going to do a podcast. I have plenty of days in May and June to go out in the sun when it's like 70, 80, or 90 degrees. It's almost 10 o'clock. Mm-hmm. I want to go. I need to go outside to clear my head more in the spring, in the month of May, especially because May's 31 days long, and I don't want to be in the house all day. So I got a Palm Pilot. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't get it. Oh well. There's got to be some padding in the movie because they can't. If they if they left the desert an hour in, the movie would be too short. So, and movies can't be an hour anymore in the theater. They got to be like an hour and a half or longer to sell more tickets. That's why Minecraft is doing well because it's not 2 hours long. It's nice and short. It's like an hour and 40 some minutes, like this. Amy is going to be in the next movie, and she's going to be well cast. Hopefully, they'll get somebody good, like they did with the rest of the Sonic characters, mostly. Yeah. He has a weird voice. Him and Jared Leto are weird actors, man. Hmm. Yep, they gotta build a plane from scratch and fly it away and use it like a hang glider. Mm-hmm. Yep, they got it. Yep, they have to work all day and night to make that plane so they could get off the desert, get out of there. We're 52 minutes in, so we're about the halfway point of the movie because the movie's an hour and 53 with the end credits. So, just flammable liquids, yeah. Hmm. This movie's about survival. Again, you were using flammable. You were making a fire near flammable liquid. You're not supposed to do that. Hmm. They gotta fly without fuel. Yep, their hopes went up in smoke. That sun is just murder. You know what the sun does to your skin? It makes it burn, especially when you have a complexion like me. Excuse me. Here we go. Yep, they took off the. I just want to be out of the house in May and June. I don't want to stay in the house. Like most of the winter, I had to stay in the house because there was nothing to do. Mm-mm. You know, one lady. Yeah. It's been 5 years since the pandemic. I have to go out when I can, especially when the weather's nice. Just today, I wanted to just do a podcast because I didn't do one yesterday because I was just really tired. I was in the doctor for like 90 minutes. Mm-hmm. Yep, that went down. The score's pretty good. They put music. They found a stereo. Mm-hmm. Yep. Andre 3000. Hey, yeah, yeah. I remember that song in the 2000s. It was everywhere on the radio back in 2004. Hey, hey, uh, hey, yeah, hey, yeah. Shake it, shake it. I remember that song. They have to put popular music in movies, especially nowadays. That's why I can't do these podcasts with the out headphones because if 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 YouTube hears any copyrighted music, they will hound me. It's the Black Eyed Peas, I think. Yeah. An hour in. So they have to go to the bathroom in the desert because there's no bathrooms out there. That's a nice shot. The deserts at night. We're an hour in, so we only got a handful of minutes left. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That feels good when it's really hot outside and then you get wet. It's like, yeah, it feels great. Yeah. We gotta get out of here. I know, dude. Yeah, thank you, you McGregor. Yeah. Because it's metal. Yeah. It'll explode because that's why you can't fly a plane in a thunderstorm because it's dangerous. Or any storm for that matter. Because, planes, even if they're, whether it's a plane with propellers or just, an airline, it's still dangerous to fly in certain weather conditions. I've never been in a plane in a thunderstorm. No, hell no. Or a helicopter because I want to live. I'm perfectly safe on the ground when there's a storm. If I'm in shelter, I could take refuge here in the house. Mm-hmm. Grounded. Phoenix. Mm-hmm. Too bad they haven't done the Dark Phoenix story right in cinema. They've done it twice and they failed, Fox. So don't do it again. Because in the cartoon they did it well, but in X Men, but yeah, right. Not really, because nowadays even belief could get you killed. Divides people. Everything divides people now because everything's about politics. because I knew this movie had copyrighted music. That's why I wouldn't put this in my Blu-ray player because I don't want to get a copyright infringement. They hear a piece of music, and if it's not public domain, they hound you, especially Disney. That's why I haven't done a Disney movie for a while, animated or live action. But I'll probably do one in May, like Mulan or something. That's perfect for Asian month. Thinking. Mm. There's a weird voice here. Why? Because you're gonna be an Avatar in only the first one? Because I don't even know if it was in the sequels. Another night scene. Yeah, some people probably found this boring because it was in the desert for the whole film. There's no oasis, and they don't go to an island or anything like that. It's just the desert for the entire film until they fly at the end. Oh, there's some horses, but they're barely in the movie. They can have water. Hmm. And 70 minutes. And there are horses, but no camels. Another copyrighted song. Oh, there are camels too. My bad. I thought there weren't any camels, but they're barely in the movie. The first half of the film, they're not in it, and there's no cactus or oasis. I know that for sure. Those camels are cute. They have the big lips, but they're barely in the movie. They're not like throughout the full film. The song is a nice touch. Uh oh. Of course, the Scottish guy gets killed. They're not going to kill off Tyrese. He's one of the main characters. Run, camels, run! But there's no cactus here. That I know for sure. Or birds or anything. Or dogs. No, that Scottish dude is done. He's finished. Out of bullets. He's out of bullets. Yeah. It's almost 10:30. Oh my god. That's a big bullet wound. Yeah, he's a goner. A bunch of Mongolians shot him in cold blood. Yeah, it's too late for him. They shot him right here. Yeah, the heart. Another dead victim. Three people died. The watch got blood on it. Mm-hmm. Yep. Giovanni Ribisi's like, nope, can't take another person on. You killed an Asian man and that didn't do anything. Okay, that was kind of funny, even though this movie's dead serious. They don't do comedy in this movie mostly. Plus, he killed him in front of a bunch of witnesses. The acting's mostly good. Thank you. Trust me, I didn't like Avatar either, and Berbisi didn't wasn't helping the movie with it was already over long, and he didn't make the movie any better. He's one of like the few human characters in that movie. Why are there humans in that movie when they don't do anything? They're just there to see the Navi and steal their resources. Again, guys, James Cameron has lost his way. He made his movies make money, but he has no more humanity in any of his films. Sorry, it's just a bunch of green screen. The real star of the films are the effects, not the story or the characters. At least Minecraft has characters, as little as they are. They're still human characters. With Avatar, it's nothing but big CGI blue cats and things. Even the water had to be CG. I'm like, why? Can't use real water anymore? You got to do everything in front of a computer? This movie didn't have that luxury. And this came out 5 years earlier. 81 minutes in. If this was made in 2025, then this would have had scenes with way too much talking. Yeah. And no tension and a bunch of women and minorities that don't fit in the movie. Or subtitles, because there's no subtitles in this movie. It looks like a joke. Well, the movie's not making it's not a joke at the box office. That's for sure. 82 minutes. Please. The cast is fine here mostly, even though there's a few of them I'm not a big fan of. But except for Giovanni Ribisi, like his voice in this movie is like, it's like a really weird, nerdy, nasally voice. Yeah, so the movie can end. I've never seen the original. I want to see how the original is, if it holds up. Because when I see the remake, I always want to go back and see the original. I did that with Little Shop of Horrors and a bunch of other films, even some of the Disney remakes. Uh oh, more Mongolians. Probably will make $1 billion. But if that movie can make money, then so can Superman and a bunch of other films this year. They don't have enough seats though, because there's even though some of them died. So there's a calendar there. 86 minutes in. Haley's new film is called Sinners, Josh. It's a period piece vampire film directed by Ryan Coogler, who, yeah, you know what to expect with him. Social commentary. Yeah, he's basically the new Spike Lee or Jordan Peele, where they have a message in their films. Ballerina, we'll see how long it is. If it's 2.5 hours, I pass. I'm gonna wait till streaming because Mission Impossible is coming out in a month, and I need to wait because the last one was too long. Dead Reckoning Part One was 2 hours and 35 minutes. That is way too long for a Mission Impossible. Rogue Nation and Fallout were too long. So, but this one was way too long. Even four, I've just recently watched it a few days ago again. It's not that long. It's like about 2 hours. It's not 2 hours and 25 minutes or 35 minutes. It goes in and out. It's a really fast paced movie. hmm I watched Mojo Video can go screw itself because how dare you say movies are gonna suck? Superman's gonna blow everybody away, and you're gonna be so wrong. Watch Mojo. You will be sorry you ever showed up on YouTube. You bunch of hacks. And I don't even hate all their channels. It's just that a lot of their lists are dumb. What's the worst movie of the 2010s? What's the worst movie of the 2020s? What's the worst? And they don't even know what the worst is. They've never seen movies from the asylum like I did. A Simple Favor too. I didn't even see the first one. They're pessimistic and they're idiots. And I love Canada. Evan is one of the nicest people I know, and he's not. He doesn't go on Facebook to start drama like Watch Mojo does, or Miss Mojo, or Mojo Plays is different because that's video games. That doesn't count. But they like to make a lot of stupid lists that make no sense. I don't care for their movies that might suck lists. I don't care for it anymore. I'm sick of it. They're gonna be completely lost. When they make more money than they could dig out, they're gonna be the fools. This guy just gets under your skin, man. Yep. Again, everybody hates this guy. 90 minutes in, we're almost done. Uh-oh. I guarantee you, when Michael Keaton says I'm Batman, the whole crowd is gonna go crazy. You think Chicken Jockey is over? Wait till you hear the reaction from that when I'm Batman. It's gonna go crazy. And these people haven't showered in days. They probably reek of death. The plane, the plane. Oh no, they're gonna say something like that because they thought the Super Pets movie would suck, and it was good. It was a lot better than it should have been, guys. It could have been an Asylum animated movie, and it was not. It had heart. The scene at the end when Superman says, "Come here, boy," it makes me cry every single time. That's if that happens in the new movie, I'm gonna cry buckets, and Watch Mojo can drink my tears. Yeah, drink them, not wipe them. Drink them, you sick bastards. Yeah, I don't like them anymore. I unsubscribed to both of their channels because they're full of crap. Just like the people saying Becky Lynch retired, yeah, and she was at WrestleMania 41 last Sunday. Yeah, that was a lie. The internet likes to lie to people. This is a decent remake. It's not as bad as the critics said it was. Oh, it's inferior to the original. I need to see the original. Maybe I like this more. I don't know. Sometimes I prefer the remake over the original. It happens. Like Little Shop, I prefer the remake. I acknowledge the original, The Little Shop of Horrors, but I like the musical plant with the bigger effects and the in color. I just prefer the remake. Yeah, King Kong, I prefer the original over the remakes, but that's only because it's shorter. Because the Peter Jackson movie's way too long. 3 hours and 7 minutes. That's a lot. That it could have been half that time. And I saw King Kong in the theater 20 years ago, the remake. Jackson, less is more. Your movies do not need to be a documentary length or no, it makes me cry every time I see that ending. I'm bawling with him and Crypto. It hits me every single time because I'm invested. And they made Superman hopeful. He's not dark and brooding like he was in the Man of Steel movie. They're like, this should DC Swan song. DC's gonna keep making movies even after this decade. You idiots. Watch Mojo. Seriously, I don't care if they give me a thumbs down here. I'm gonna speak the truth. I'm not gonna lie to people like some people on the internet do. Look at that manpower. Yep, they don't have a runaway or nothing. You know what that'll do to your back? That's why I want to go to when I go on vacation. I want to go to someplace nice, not any deserts or any cold places. I got emotional. I cried in Death of Superman. You guys saw that a few weeks ago. Also, Sonic 3 made me cry. I'm human. I can express my emotions. The emotions in my head don't shut down, even when I'm asleep. And also, the girl's not the love interest to anybody. She's just, a companion. He has a hairy arm. Fully crying, you will, Josh. You're gonna go, and I'm gonna, yeah, and I'm gonna be there to see you because everybody breaks down eventually. If you have eyelids, even blind people can cry because while they can't see anything, they can still feel. I had to do a longer film because I didn't want to do an hour and 20-minute movie today, mainly because it's a Tuesday. No one's gonna make fun of you, Josh. No one made fun of me in Death when I saw Death of Superman. It left such an emotional toll on me that I had to show. I couldn't even look at the screen because I was all wet. This movie doesn't make me cry because they're in the desert for like 90% of the film, and it's not Dune where it's very emotionally heavy because they're walking in the desert. They're not even like in a plane or in an oasis or something. And this looks like a film, not a digital effect. There's not a lot of CGI in this movie. It's a really low budget for a 2004 film because 2004 had a lot of CG heavy films, a lot. Alien versus Predator and Spider-Man 2 and Hellboy and a bunch of other films. Hmm. There's a propeller. There we go. No one will judge you. If you cry for something that's emotionally, resonates with you, why should you hide that? I don't do this when I cry. I don't turn away from the camera. No, you see everything. Why hide what I feel? Hmm. This is why airliners don't use propellers. They use, they don't have propellers like a biplane does. Whoa, that was too close. 100 minutes in, last one. They had to take their shirts off because it was so hot. Yeah, I'll bet. The plane's moving. It's at the end of Castaway when he gets home. Hmm. I haven't seen Castaway. I want to see it. It's a feel good moment. You need that in a time like this. That's why some of them had to die. Uh-oh, the Mongolians. Fly! Take off. Yeah. No Asians are gonna get us today. Not on this day. Bye. Whee! I haven't flown in a plane in years. I want to go on a plane this year, at least once. This is dangerous. Don't try this at home. Let's fly out of here. That's why you can't have war in the sky. Yep, here comes the pit. That's basically their runway. So tense. It's like a ride. Whee! Bye, Mongolians. Too bad you can't fly. Yep, flying into the sunset. It's a good shot. We're getting out of this desert and back to civilization. Look at that smile. Mm-hmm. It's a good scene. It's an uplifting scene. Literally, they're up in the air. Goodbye, desert. We'll see you in Dune, parts 1 and 2. And hopefully 3 soon. And that's the movie, guys. An hour and 45 minutes. It's a fun movie. He opened his Phoenix Aviation flight. He became a pilot. They got their lives back. Sammy and Sandra's sweet salsa. Nice. Their first dollar. So the Arabic guy shaved his beard. Hugh Laurie went to go. He played golf, and Miranda got a job. It's a good movie. I think it's a good remake. It's not as bad as the critics say. I have to see the original eventually this year, so it finished at 11 o'clock, which is a miracle because I put it early. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Acknowledge me, and the next one will probably be tomorrow after I go outside and get some exercise because I want to get as much exercise as I can this month and in May. So the next one will be a lot shorter, though, because this one I wanted to kill some time. So thanks for watching. And if you haven't seen this movie in a while, watch it. And then watch the original to see which one you prefer. Thanks for watching. Later.